Hi guys, sorry the previous video ended abruptly, but anyways we are going to continue. So we were discussing about logical and logical or operators. So we discussed that we are given two conditions, condition 1 and condition 2. Now if both my conditions are true, only then the logical AND will execute true. So this is what we can use now for our question number 24. Write a Java program to check if a given number is between 10 and 20. So let's say int my num is equal to 15. So we know that this is between 10 and 20. So now if my num is greater than equal to, or let's just say it's greater than 10, and then and my num greater than 20. All right, what code do we need to execute? System dot out dot print, let's just say yes. Okay, numbers between 10 and 20. So now if I run this code, as you can see it's printing this, but what will happen if the number is 11, 10? It won't print anything. As you can see the code is run, but it won't print anything because we have not, and we didn't specify anything for else. So let's write else system dot out dot print, and then number is not between 10 and 20. Now in the same question, if we write or, as you can see it's saying numbers between 10 and 20. Even if I write 7 here, it will say that the number is between 10 and 20. Why? Because it's less than 20, and for or either one of these conditions need to be fulfilled, not both the conditions. That's why it's showing like this. So we can write, so and is basically the right thing for this question. So now number is not between 10 and 20. Moving on to the next question 25. Write a Java program to print numbers from 1 to 10 but break the loop when the number is 5. So this is a question regarding break and continue. We learned those operations, right? So basically break, what does break do? That if the condition is satisfied, the moment the condition is satisfied, the code will stop. The break condition, the moment it's satisfied, the code will stop. Whereas continue will just skip that iteration and move on as it would if there would happen no interruption. So that's about break and continue. So let's solve the question. So let's do it using for loop. For int I is equal to 1, I is less than equal to 10, I plus plus, and then we need to specify the condition that if the question says that we need to stop when the number is 5. So if I is equal to 5, y is equal to, because we discussed that to check if something is, the value of something is equal to the value of something else, we use equal to, because the equal to sign is used for assigning variables. So equal to 5, then what do we need to do then? Break, that's it. And then system.out.print I. So we'll write that outside the loop, because if we discussed what will happen if we write it inside the loop, right? So system dot out dot print ln, and then I. Semicolon. Sorry, we need to write it after break but before this. Yeah, here. So as you can see, we have got 1 2 3 4, and the moment it reached 5 it stopped. But what if we write continue here? 1 2 3 4, there's no 5 because if I is equal to 5, continue, and then basically it skipped the 5 part. Now next question is write a Java program to print numbers to print numbers from but skip the number 5. Write a Java program, right? So we skip the number 5. This is continue only. The next question we have already done. There are two parts of the next question. I think they were two separate questions, my bad. Write a Java program to print the day of the week using a switch statement. Right, so now we learned about switch statement, which is actually very easy. So let's just get into it. We discussed about switch statement in I think lecture 3. If you have any doubts, you can visit that lecture, see it, and then come back. So let's just say int day is equal to any day, let's say 4. Now we have to write all the cases. Before that, we'll write switch, and what exactly are we checking? The days. So day, then our curly brackets will start, and then case 1, right? What's case 1? If day is 1, then we need to print Monday. All right, and then we need to break. We also discussed about the significance of break statement here. Then let's say case 2, then system.out.print Tuesday, and then break. Okay, so we need to write all this till all 7 cases are fulfilled. Case 3, case 4, case 5, case 6, and then last last will be case 7, and we can remove this. Right, so 7 will be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, let's write from here. Wednesday, I'm just writing the initials, okay? Thursday, and then we have Friday, then we have Saturday. Alright, so now let's run it. Now what will happen if I write here 8? There's no error, but there's no output either. So for such cases we use default. And then system.out.print invalid data. Run. So now if I use 8, it will print invalid day. But now let's take another example. Instead of 1, let's write instead of day 8, let's write day 1. Now what if I write 1 here as well? As you can see, it's showing the red underlined error. Case 1 is repeating, right? So we'll write case 4. So that's it. That was all about switch statements. Let's go on to the next question. Write a Java program to print the name of the month based on a given number using a switch statement. Now this is pretty similar. If let's just say instead of day we have month is equal to 7, or let's say 12. So instead of day we have to write month, and then case 1 will be January, case 2 February, then case 3 March, case 4 April, May, June, July, let's say J1. Then let's just copy this. Tab, oh sorry, back, delete and delete. Case 8 will be July, August, then September, then October, then November, December. And instead of invalid day, we'll write invalid month. Right. This will be case 9, case 10, case 11, and lastly case 12. Run. As you can see, 12th December, and again if we write 13, it will show us invalid month. Alright, so the next question is, write a Java program to print the corresponding grade based on a given switch statement. So this is actually pretty similar. Let's just say that it's we just have to use the switch statement again. So we'll say instead of month this time, let's write character, then grade is equal to A. Then switch cases. Case A will be here we'll now write, instead of month we'll write grade, and instead of 1 we'll have A. So case in single quotes, case A, let's say excellent, and so on. Case B can be good, and then C average, and so on, and then we can print it. So let me just comment this out. And let's print it here. So this is how we'll write. Let's remove these two lines, yeah, and these two. So this will be the input, and then as you can see, B good, and then if we write A excellent, or if we write any other thing apart from these 5 grades, then we'll get invalid grade. So this was all about switch statements. Now let's move on to the next question, which is, write a Java program to convert an integer to a double. Now we are discussing about typecasting. Now we discussed two types of typecasting. One was narrowing typecasting and the other one was widening. So what was the difference between narrowing and widening? So we saw an example in today's class, this double square root. This was showing an error when we wrote int, right? That was because of the typecasting error. We need to convert an integer to double. We can't just simply write integer and then expect the answer to be in double, right? So how do we convert that? We discussed those in one of our lectures. So now we need to convert an integer to a double. So let's write the program for it. Let's just say int number is equal to 5. Then double converted number is equal to double. We discussed the syntax for typecasting. It's a very simple question if you know the syntax. Then system.out.print converted number. System.out.print converted number. As you can see, 5 is now 5.0, that is in double. Now if I have to convert a double to an integer number, then I have to write, let's just int, and let's just give this a double number, 5.75d. As you can see, the output is 5. So this is how we do typecasting. So the next question is, write a Java program to convert a double to an integer. We have already done that. Now what if I have to convert a char to an integer? How to do that? So let's assign the letter char letter is equal to a, and then int converted letter is equal to int and then letter, and then we need to print the converted letter. Let's see what's the output. Now why is it 65 the output? This is because of the term ASCII values. ASCII values basically is actually, these are the characters, these are the numbers. So as you can see, A is 65 as per this table. You don't need to remember this table. You can easily take reference whenever you want. So this is how basically conversion between a character and an integer work. So now we are almost done with the beginner level. Only 3 questions are left, and these 3 questions are very important questions. Let's write here, very important questions. Now these are the main questions about loops that might come in your exams, or that might come handy. Basically this is where the main loops start. So write a Java program to print a square pattern of asterisks of size 5 into 5. So what exactly do they want us to print? They want us to print a matrix of 5 into 5, basically a square pattern, right? So this is what they want us to print. So how to do that? Now clearly this is something repeated, clearly this is something that we need to do more than once. So what the best thing we can use is loops. So let's just start. I'll comment this out. So now let's start. So first, what's the size? We know we need to create a 5 into 5 matrix. So size or length, whatever you want, you can use. Let's assign a variable as the length. Now let's take a for loop. For int I is equal to 1, I is less than is equal to size, I plus plus. Now earlier we saw examples where we used to print I in such cases, right? But what if I don't want to print I? What if I want to print something else? When we print I, it gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I don't want to, oh god, I don't want to print I just want to print something else. So I can write system dot out dot print, and let's just write asterisk. Okay, it's a string here, so in double quotes. Yeah, print ln. Alright, now let's see what this will print. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my first row. Okay, now I need to do the same over here and here. So what if I write So as you can see, I've got my answer, right? But instead of this, we can also use two loops, because in the further questions we are going to discuss about patterns. They can ask us to print a pattern like something like, first we have star, in the next line, oh god, just a second, first we have star, in the next line we have to print star star, in the next line we have to print star star star, like this. They can ask us to print this, so we can't do that using by writing this, right? So we'll understand the exact logic, how to use two loops, nested loops. The concept of nested loops that we discussed is gonna be handy here. So now I saw that this loop, which I've already written, is printing the first row. Now I want to print the rest of the rows. So I can start another loop for, let's say, int j is equal to 0. We'll write here also 0. Int j is equal to 0, and then j is less than the size, because we need this 5 into 5 matrix, so j is also less than the size, and then j plus plus, and then system dot out dot print. Now what will be the output? Let's see. What has happened now? To prevent this, what we are going to do is, after every row is completed, we want to go to the next row basically. So to do that, right now what has happened is, this was the first loop. Within this, the second loop started, but there's no concept of rows and columns. So for bringing in that concept, what we are going to do is, first of all, we are going to write system.out.print here, and here we are going to just print like this. So now let's run. Okay. Right, so just a second, guys. In size is equal to 5, and I is less than size, and then I plus plus, and then sorry, we don't need to print it in the next line, guys. The j1, we need it all in the same line, right? So yeah, now as you can see, I have got my final answer. So that was the difference between print and print ln. Out of habit, I just wrote print ln, but here we don't want it all in the different line, right? We want all the asterisks in the same line, so we need to write just print, and then we'll get the same line. Now next question is, write a Java program, to print a right triangle pattern of asterisks with 5 rows. So what is this question asking? The example I was showing you earlier. Now this is a right angle triangle, right, of 5 rows. So this is what the question is asking. So now int rows will be 5. For int I is equal to, the code till here will be same, right? Because we saw this code till here, this is only printing the first row, and as we can see in the first row here also, we need 5 stars only. So this, if we basically, let's just remove this for now. Basically you're understanding the point, right? For the first row, like where there are 5 asterisks, we already saw the here was the input, right? Basically, if we want to print just this much, we already saw that if we write only this line, then we'll print these 5 asterisks. Now what difference is in that question and in this question? Here, let's just do a dry run of the code before understanding the difference. Now in size is equal to 5, right? So size is 5. Int I is equal to 0. My I is 0 right now. I is less than the size, so I plus plus, and then print asterisk. if we forget the J line right now. So one asterisk is printed, then my I is 1, then I still less than the size, then another asterisk is printed. So now I need that in my first row there's one element, in the next row there's 2, in the next row there's 3. So instead of so basically instead of size right now, if we see the value of I is 0 1 2 3 4, so now if I write J is less than I, so right now let's do a dry run now. I is equal to 0, I is less than the size, I plus plus, so I is 1, J is equal to 0. Now 0 is less than 1, so J plus plus, right? Then we'll print asterisk, and then we'll let's just see what it prints. As you can see, we have got our answer. Less than equal to the size, because we need 5 rows. So now we have got our answer. Now last question for today. Write a Java program to print the multiplication table for a given number using a for loop. So this is actually very easy. I'd suggest you pause and try. Now int number is equal to 5. Let's just say instead of size, let's just call it number. So int number is equal to 5. For the first, we do 5 into 1, right? So int I is equal to 1, then I is less than I. Now if I print I here, then I'll get 1 2 3 4 5 6, but I don't want to print that, right? What do I want to print instead? This is very easy, guys, so just focus for a minute. What do I want to print instead? System dot don't focus on the code that's coming, focus on what I'm saying, okay? Print ln, then basically we need to print whatever the value the number is, because we need to print a multiplication table. So 5 into 1, 5 into 2, 5 into 3, 5 into 4, the number is common, right? 5 is common, so the number is common, so number will be there in every row. So number and then 5 into 1, so number into asterisk sign. This will be basically, we are seeing what we want to print right now. We want to print number into, then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? Now what did we used to do if I want to print, let's forget this line for now. What did we used to do if we want to print 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10? We used to write this for loop and then print the value of I. That would give us 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So number into I. Now this, what I have written right now here is 5 into 1, 5 into 2, 5 into 3, so on till 5 into 10. This is what I have written right now. Then is equal to, what is it actually equal to? 5 into 1, right? So this is the value itself, so number into I is what is equal to. But here when we are writing 5, basically I'll tell you, so let's comment it, 5 into 1 is equal to 5. This is what we are trying to print. So this is the mathematical operation, while this is the string operation, right? So how do we write concatenation? We studied in strings. So number, we don't need to print number word, we need to print the number, actual number plus, now we need to print this sign as it is for all the values. So number plus asterisk, then plus I is equal to number into asterisk, number into I. Now this is where we perform the mathematical operation. This is where we wrote the string. Also here also we need to write it in double quotes. Alright, so I hope you guys understood this. Now and yeah, int number is equal to 5 and then plus. So this is how we add strings, integers, variables. We have added all of these, right? So that would give us the multiplication table for the number 5. If we change the table, let's just say 7, multiplication table for the number 7. So this was all about the beginner level. Congratulations, you have done all the beginner level questions. Let's go, guys, and tomorrow we are going to start with the inter level questions. And as you can see, there are almost 20 inter level questions that we are going to do, and then 57 to 100 all are advanced levels. So get ready. See you guys next time. Thank you.